Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone across the world that is here at our live Leafit Q&A webinar. I want to thank you for coming out and spending this time with us. I think this is a great way for you to learn your business and be able to ask the corporate executives and some of the AAB members. And when I say AAB members, what am I referring to? I'm referring to the Associate Advisory Board and some of the individuals that we have hand selected to come forward onto that board. The Associate Advisory Board, just so you guys understand, is a board that we put together to bounce different ideas off of before we take it to the public. That way we know kind of what the field is going to be feeling through the leadership. And it's really helped mold and transform the company to where it's at right now. We're a young company. We've only been out a short time here, but we will continue to expand our associate advisory board. And so if you're a leader out there in the field and you would like to be considered for that, always feel free to send in a support ticket to through your back office, and we will be expanding here real soon. Again, we'll be interviewing each person and hand selecting them. But this evening, I'm proud to introduce you guys to Lawrence Sowell, our founder and CEO. And then we've got over here on the left, we've got Mike Green. He's an executive founder. He's one of the first individuals to help build the company with Lawrence. He's also a associate advisory board member. Then we have Will Cormany on with us this evening, another AAB member. Brad Moore and Martin Regan, both AAB members. And then myself, Ron Pope, Chief of Operations. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and kick this off. Let me walk you through some of the rules that we have for you guys. Let me make sure that's feeding correctly. Mike, can you see my screen okay? Mike, if you can come off.
I was muted out. Ron, yes, you can. Yeah, you can now, yes. It wasn't rolling when you first started talking, but it does now, yes.
Okay, perfect. Just want to make sure it's working there before we get started here. Excellent. Okay, well, guys, first off, what I want you to do is if you have any questions, you're going to put a question in your chat box. Okay, we'll answer the questions both verbally as well as written in the background. And this is not customer support. Okay, so if you ask certain questions about your individual account, we may refer you to just submit a support ticket. If it's something we can answer that pertains to everyone, we will answer it out loud. Otherwise, we may ask you to just submit a support ticket. Now, I don't have my regular instructions up here. So what I want you guys to do is before your question, if it has anything to do with the app, just put APP, and then ask your question. All right. Anything other than app questions, just put miscellaneous, MISC, and then ask your question. All right. So I'm going to say that one more time. If you have an app question, I want you to put APP and then ask the question. Anything other than that, just put MISC and then ask the question. All right. So, guys, I think we're ready. Why don't we go ahead and get started here? And we're going to start off with app-based questions here, guys. And we'll answer those first, and then we'll come back for all the miscellaneous questions after that. All right, Mike, do you have one that you want to start us off with as I get into my question section here?
Well, I think the first one right off the top, I think Donnie hit it right out of the park because it seems to be the million-dollar question. Downloaded the app, but does not flow over to my Facebook. Shows. Oh wait, we got to let's see ideas what to do. Would be great if my Facebook friends could see the lease. So I know Lawrence is with us tonight, and I don't want to put Lawrence on the spot, but I think he explains it better than anybody else where we're at right now in real time with the app and where the share aspect is. Lawrence, do you want to cover that one, or?
Yeah, sure. Yep. So basically, it's working for a lot of people, and it's not working for some people. Is what we found today. The developers discovered a bug in the Facebook, or basically the Facebook and Twitter sharing, the social sharing. It was just a one-line fix. They got it over to the other group of developers because there's a back-end developer and a middleware, and they sent it over, and they should be getting that fixed. I was expecting it to be done today. I haven't checked the app. It works for me, so it's really hard for me to see the problems when everything works for me. So on my device. but I do have other people that I'm talking to who are using devices that it's not working on, so I'll be checking with them. But that should be fixed. If it's not done already right now, it should be done by tomorrow. Also, I just want to clear up how it posts to Facebook. So when you post something to Facebook or to Twitter, it posts as a story. So it's not like it looks like a leaf over there. Over there, it looks like a story, just like if you were to, share something from Pinterest, or you were to share something from Twitter or, another social network on Facebook. It shows it as a story. So it'll basically just tell that story. And then on desktop, it looks a little different than it does on phones. On desktop, it includes the caption. On phones, it doesn't. But understand, the whole social sharing features, we'll be working through those, over the next few months to make them better and better and to better incorporate them. We're also working to have by the end of the week the social sharing connected to your accounts as well, so that when you do share something, if somebody clicks on a link from there, it'll direct them to sign up for your leafit.com username. Now, also, as we get leafit.com developed, when somebody clicks on it, it'll actually take them to the leaf at leafit.com where they can interact with it. So as leafit.com comes online and users that don't have the app click on it, it will take them there. Also, if somebody clicks on a story from Twitter or Facebook and they already have the app installed on the phone, it actually takes them directly to the Leaf, to their phone, on their phone. But like I said, once we have leafit.com up and the network working over there, then it'll take them to the Leaf, whether they have the Apple app or not. So that's the social sharing, and like I said, it should be, if it's not done today or right now as we speak, it'll be done by tomorrow, I imagine.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Lawrence. There's another one on here that I don't know if we want to get into too much discussion on what 2.0 is going to do down the road. I'd rather talk about what we have and what's working right now. But the next question that comes up is, in version 2.0, will we be able to hide users or leafs inside of the Discover feed? Any thoughts there, Lawrence?
Yeah, absolutely. All of the above. Yeah, version 2.0, think of what you have right now as, the first entry of the product, the bare bones, if you would. 2.0 is like full-blown social network with all the little details that you're asking about. So, yeah, all of the above.
Beautiful. So we could kind of compare that to the 1964 Volkswagen Bug to, maybe the Maserati, the 2015. Be out any minute now, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And I'll answer this one because I know it's in there, but everybody's saying, are you going to be able to search? Is there going to be a search feature? And guys, all I can tell you is version 2.0 is going to rock, like Lawrence just said. And anything you can dream of, anything you're dreaming of right now, it's already on the drawing board. And absolutely, yes, search. The search feature in 2.0 is going to be phenomenal and open up all kinds of avenues. So there you go. The answer to that question is absolutely yes, it's coming. And let me preface this whole entire thing. I know a lot of people are asking a lot of questions about the app. But again, I'll repeat that. Anything you can possibly think of, I mean, keep putting your suggestions in. Go into your app and go into what is it? Not the help section. What's that button, Lawrence? The contact us. There you go. And drop your suggestions in there. Feel free. You don't have to wait to come to one of these Q&A sessions. But if you've got recommendations or thoughts, or we're listening to all of that stuff. But I'll tell you, there's been some major brain cells put on this app, and we've got a ton of ideas and concepts for version 2.0. So hang in there, it's coming. What we've got is great. I think it's beautiful, but what's coming is going to be huge. So let's see, what else have we got out there, Ron?
Skip is asking if the news feed is working on iPads. He's having an issue in Butte, Montana.
Yeah, so that all has to do with actually the Facebook sharing issue. And the Twitter sharing issue. There was two bugs that they found. One had to do with the news feed, and one had to do with the Facebook and Twitter sharing. But both of those, my knowledge, should be fixed, if not already, by tomorrow. So anybody that's experiencing that and any sort of error in the news feed, we found the fix for that, and it's being updated. And we don't have to wait for an app update for these fixes that come on the server side, so they are retroactive.
Okay.
Yeah, can I share the agony with Skip, because I'm in that same boat, Skip. My news feed, it isn't loading up right now, so that's more of a server issue. But I understand we have the fix for it. So hang in there like I am, Skip, and know that it's all under control.
Lawrence, one of the things that we were talking about earlier today is optimizing the speed of the app and everything. And we've got a question in here about that from Dora. She's just asking, is version 2.0 going to be faster than the 1.0.1?
Well, of course, and I mean, we'll come out with more versions on 1.0 before we hit 2.0 that'll increase speeds. And that's all just part of the optimization process. So, obviously, as the app is developed, it will increase. The speed in which the app works will increase.
Okay. All right, let me grab another one here. Donnie wants us to know that he loves 1964 bugs.
I do too. I used to own one. I love them.
See, bugs aren't a bad thing.
Not at all.
Guys, let's talk real quick just about mindset and the fact that, we do expect, and I was typing a bit ago, so if this is already covered, my apologies, but we do expect bugs at this point, guys. And if you haven't been through a startup, especially a tech company startup before, this is common. What you do is matter of fact, Lawrence, I'm going to pass that back to you. Why don't you talk about the mindset of where people should be at right now with the current status and the fact that you expect this type of feedback, and we expect to be where we're at right now. I think a lot of people are confused on that.
Yeah, sure. So basically, one of the reasons that you develop what's called a version 1.0, or as developers put it, MVP, minimum viable product. Instead of spending 2 years developing a product that you consider perfect with 20 features and all the details, you start with bare bones, and you start with something really simple, and then you get feedback from the users to find out which direction to go. Right? That way you can bring a product out in a lot less time without having all the features. Also, when you do that, you don't absolutely perfect it, because that could take another 2 to 3 months of optimization to get all the speed stats, to get everything exactly where you want it. So you get it in a state where it works, and you let it out to the users, and then you work through the bugs and you work through the suggestions as you go. And that's exactly how every company that's launched a social network that I know of has launched their networks. If you look at Pinterest, when they first launched, it was full of bugs, and it was very simple. There was like 5 features, I believe, or 4 features on Pinterest, and it just kind of has built and built and built and built. And the same with Instagram. I mean, Instagram started with very bare minimum features. In fact, when I first got the app, I couldn't even get it to load on my phone. It took I think their next update, it was like 3 weeks, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll check it out again, and there it was. So really at this stage, and it's just seeing that MVP is out, the concept works, and that we're working through the bugs, we'll work on optimization, but the point of launching a 1.0 is to get user feedback to find out the direction to go with the more advanced product, which is 2.0. And I can tell you just from the feedback that we've received, the suggestions people have made, and also the ideas that I've had are pretty much all in line with a very simple direction for version 2.0. But at this stage, it's completely normal to be going through what we're going through. It's not about how perfect is it right now, because the product's like 5% of what it's going to become in the next couple of years. I mean, it's nothing compared. You won't even recognize this app a year from now because it'll be so much more advanced. It might even look different than it looks right now. So to look at this product, and I've noticed some people support think that it's finished, and like, oh my gosh, this isn't working right, or this isn't working right, and everybody needs to realize, like, this is just the beginning. This is just the starting line, and it's only going to get better. The bugs, those little tiny things like that, are nothing to be concerned about. Just be patient, wait a few days, or if we have to do an update, a couple of weeks, that's not the big deal. The big deal is that we're moving forward and we're getting the product developed the way that we want to get it developed. We will be optimizing it. And as Mike said, as we get into version 2.0, and I can move on to a couple other questions here because there's a couple people asking, timelines on 2.0, timelines on Android, all that is the same question. And, we're working as fast as we can to get that out. Obviously, the more resources that we have, the faster we can move on. The larger the network grows, the more resources we can put into development. So it's really, to give a specific timeline, it really depends on, how many resources we have working on it. Because understand there's 3 platforms going on at one time. It's not just, you develop it and it's on all the devices. You have different types of development going on based on the type of device and platform that the users are on to make sure that they get it to all the devices. So, we've talked about, 2 to 3 months being able to use it for desktop, or any device, which is basically, we might even be able to do it sooner than that with some sort of beta, which is a more simplified 2.0. But I don't like giving exact timelines because I want to get into the development and really be going full bore. And we've just begun the development on 2.0, so we're kind of in a stage right now where we were using an outsourced company. They were handling all of our development. We were just paying them to do the development, and now we're bringing it inside, in-house, and hiring and putting together our own internal team that is dedicated to this project. And we don't have that team fully constructed. We do have a couple people working on it, but we need to add 2, 3 more people to that team, and 4 or 5 would be perfect. And that way we're working on all the devices at the same time. My goal was, or what I really wanted to get done was, I wanted to roll 2.0 out by Christmas. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do that currently with where we're at, but we're going to try as hard as we can. What would really help, though, is just people out there building and helping us grow the company, and that would put us in a position to put more resources towards what we need to get done.
Well, here's a little spin to that too, Lawrence. Just continue on with your thought there. Arthur is asking, what about beta testing? Any idea when the desktop version of beta testing maybe? So if we're looking 2 to 3 months out, typically when would we hit a beta test version, I think is what he's asking there.
Well, beta test could be, I mean, I wouldn't call it a beta test. I would call it, some features, like let's say that we decide to roll out the news feed on all devices, but you can't create a leaf and you can't, see your profile and stuff like that. We could roll out just like the news feed and then roll out one feature at a time. So it really depends on what people want to see. Does everybody want to wait for us to have all the features built in, or are people okay with, having something that you see it as it's built? It depends on the direction we go. If we go the direction of just showing a newsfeed and showing each feature as it's ready to be seen and used, that would be a great way to do beta testing. And it would also probably excite people to be able to be part of the development process and see it come together one piece or one component at a time. If that's the case, that's something that can be done actually fairly quickly, even within, I'd say, a month. But it really depends on which direction we go with that, which I'm kind of considering internally, because at the same time of getting people excited, you don't want to release something and people don't have all these options, and you have a bunch of upset people saying, well, when's this going to come out? When's this going to happen? So we kind of got to figure out, well, what's the MVP for 2.0, so that we can roll that out for beta. But like I said, I really don't want to release timelines as we're still working to get all our resources put into place.
Okay, and I think Aaron must have showed up a little bit late here. Aaron is asking, why do I get an error when I want to post to Facebook? I know you went over some of the Facebook stuff. If you want to readdress that for anybody who might have shown up just a little bit late to the call.
Yeah, there's a social sharing bug for some users on Facebook and Twitter. The developers found the problem and they're fixing it. And so I expect it to be done today or tomorrow at the latest. If there's any further developments on that, we'll send an update out through a newsletter to all the app users.
Okay, let's see. Not sure, but I heard it yesterday. Huge. Oh, I have no idea what that meant. Sorry. Can this be used in Peru? I don't see it on the list for international numbers. Is there any info in Spanish? That's Vicky. Vicky, currently we're focused on the English market, and Spanish is one of them that we have on our target, along with Japanese and French. Those are some of the markets that we are starting to see some demand for. But what'll happen with that is, as those individual markets grow, then we'll start to put the resources and attention in those directions. Can it be used in Peru? I don't see a problem with using it in Peru, as long as you guys can use it in English temporarily. Let's see. Thank you in advance for fixing the Facebook error. You're welcome, Tammy. Let's see. Let me jump onto a couple of these others. Now, guys, we got a lot of help on the call here tonight, so don't hold back. If you got any questions, stick them in there into your chat box, and let's get them answered for you tonight.
Yeah, I just want to, there's a question here from Justin about the back office. I know it's not about the app, but we're all waiting for more questions to roll in.
Yeah, that was one of them I was looking at, but go ahead if you want to address that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it looks like today the front end is almost completed. We're going to be doing a review this evening or first thing tomorrow morning on that. So just based on that review and any feedback we have for some minor edits, you know, I have a feeling that the back office will be ready next week, don't you, Ron?
Yeah, I want to address that just a little bit more because I think, people get a little bit confused. Well, why isn't the back office out already? Why isn't, these bugs fixed, things like that? Guys, a lot of times what happens is with programming is when you start to go down one rabbit hole, it opens up a whole bunch more. And what the back office programmers have been doing is working not just on the back office, but they have to integrate it with the new website on the front end. Like Lawrence was talking about, the front end should be done tomorrow. We got a brand new iGrow website coming out that I think you guys are going to just love. But there was certain integration that had to go in there. The programmers were also building a platform for the magazine that Lawrence is on the cover of. That is getting ready to publish, and we want to make it available to all you guys. So those platforms had to be built as well. So a lot of times our programmers don't always get to focus on just one thing. But I will tell you that they're extremely close. A couple of the major things that they've been working on here, because we've got a lot of features that are being programmed for the back office that will be rolled out after we launch the new back office. Okay, so we're going to roll it out with more limited features than what we'll have in the next couple of weeks. And the reason being is that we want to get the new back office out. We've got some folks that have signed up through the sales funnel that are not showing up in the old back office because they're migrating over to the new one already, or populating the new back office, as well as anybody who has signed up through iGrow.com. If they want to do any kind of an upgrade, they can't do that. All right, so because the data is showing up in the new back office. But two of the major things that they've been working on is the viewing of the matrix. And the current back office limits you to seeing your view in the top three levels. With the new back office, we've got an expanded view that will allow you to open up the fourth, the fifth, all the way down through your ninth. And matter of fact, even down on the ninth, you can click on individuals down there and open up 9 more levels below you to look at what's going on down there as well. So the Matrix Viewer has been a big time commitment. We're, I think, just about where we want it. Should be there tomorrow with the new Matrix Viewer. And another thing was the data, the financial data from all the monies that you guys have earned and pulled out and paid in, and all that type of data needs to be integrated into the new back office. And we've come out with a way to do that. We're actually going to integrate everything up to August 1st. So anything from August 1st forward, you guys will be able to see in your new back office. Anything prior to August 1st, you'll have a little link to download it, and it'll show up on a document for you. So that's the direction that we went with that. And those were two of the major time commitments that we had. But to get back to the bottom line question is, when will we see it? I think that over here at corporate, we'll see it tomorrow, and we'll start to test it out. I know there's a couple more things that need to be finished up. But yeah, I definitely think that beginning of the week, you guys can have that. We just want a couple of days to test it before we put it up and have any bugs that cause a major issue or anything. So. But yeah, we should be seeing it over here tomorrow, and you guys should be seeing it around the beginning of the week. All right. Boy, you guys are just tearing these questions up here. Okay, let's see here. Let me jump down. There was another one I wanted to answer. It looks like somebody's taken it already. Let's see. Let's jump back here. iGrow question, please. What is the estimated hours it takes to complete the university course? Well, it's over 100 hours. In education. So how long that takes somebody, I don't know. I mean, it's over 100 hours of education there. Is there a final exam, or do the course tests act as exams? So this question, if you guys haven't got it, is pertaining to the iGrow University, which is all about teaching you guys how to market online. We've got even online marketing, the basics to it. And then we've got all the different social media marketing modules, and I mean a ton of different things. The iGrow University will teach you how to create and launch and maintain successful online marketing campaigns for any business. It's not just pertaining to Leafit or to iGrow. You could use it for any online, offline, traditional, or networking business. Anything. I mean, what it does is teaches you how to, basically harvest information from the internet and monetize it to put cash in your bank account. So do the exams work, or do the tests work as the exams? No, they do not. You need to take all the tests and pass them. So anybody who's not understanding, you guys, once you complete the course, you can actually get an OMCA certification. That's Online Marketing Certified Associate certification. So you can put that on your resume once you complete that, and it could actually become a career for you, where you go out and market yourself as an OMCA individual that can, monetize somebody's business online for them. But so do the tests that we have work as the exams? No, they don't. You have to go through, complete our course, and then you will take a third-party exam, and you get your OMCA certification through there. So it's actually through OMCP. And the difference, when you guys see OMCP versus OMCA, OMCP is Online Marketing Certified Provider. Okay, and that's what we are at iGrow. We're the provider of that education. You guys, when you complete it and take that third-party course, you would become a certified associate. Okay, after we complete it and all the exams, how long after we complete it does it take to get our certification? Again, you'll need to apply for that certification through OMCP. Okay, we'll put all of those step by step in the new back office for you guys. Again, it won't be there the minute the new back office launches, so please don't expect everything to be there the minute the new back office launches. You'll have in there what you need, and then as the additional features are completed, we'll put those up. You could literally be seeing some features every day, every other day, but definitely see some features each week coming in there. Some of the things that you guys will see in that new back office is going to obviously be your viewer for your downline, the matrix and the downline reports. You're going to see your money tabs in there. You're going to see something new called Credit Wallet. We'll go over training on that later. You're going to see a shared calendar. Your calendar, what we've put back there for you guys right now is one that will populate with all the corporate information, all the corporate events and things. And then you'll have the ability to also add your own personal things to your calendar. We will look at potentially in the near future sharing that with your downline if you want to. Okay, so you'll have a toggle where you can choose to keep it private or share it with your downline, which would be nice for different downline events and things that you might be having. And then we have the full list of all of our retailers back there, where you guys can go in and search through category or country. So that's also nice. And then we'll continue to add training. And one of the things that I know that Steve, one of our partners, is working on right now is a lot of the banners and marketing materials for you guys that we want to get back there. And we're going to try and have that in there by the time the new back office launches. We'll have a good variety of those things back there as well. So that's some of the things that you'll see in the back office and what we're working on and what's been taking up part of the time. So Lawrence, Mike, back over to you. I'm going to do a little typing here for a moment.
All right. Let's see here if there's any more questions. Mike, do you have any?
Sorry, I muted out, you guys. I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm talking to myself. Lawrence, there's a couple of questions here in a row from Dora and Ken, and it relates back to when you see commissions on purchases being made. We had a brief conversation about that. You want to cover that one?
When you see, reiterate that, when you see commissions in the app, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, so when you see commissions in the app, the commissions that you see in app, if you're an associate, are a total of everything. If you're an affiliate, obviously it's only commerce. That's the only way that you earn. So basically, that's what you see in the app. Now, obviously that will reset, based on what you remove from your account. Also, we'll be working in the app for you to be able to touch the credit section and actually get a breakdown inside the app. That is something that we're working on doing in further versions of the app so that there's a better explanation. Also, the new back office will be breaking that down better as well. In fact, in the meantime, we're looking at possibly linking the credit earned directly to the back office for all the associates. So I hope that answered the question.
I think it did indeed. Hey, Ron, while you're typing there, let me interrupt you, and because these are more iGrow questions that I'm not real familiar with, but they roll back a little bit. Let me start with one that's a little bit lower. Will college credits for iGrow courses be available in the future?
That's an interesting question because there was an idea that we had for iGrow. So that's something that we've actually already discussed, and we actually have someone looking into it behind the scenes. So we'll have to get back to you on that one.
So I guess we can say already on the drawing board, right, Lawrence?
Yeah, it's
always great ideas, and man, I'll tell you,
the concept's drawn up. It's definitely revolutionary for the education system. However, we just don't have the resources right now to put a team of people on that project.
We have an individual coming on, guys, that specializes in higher education, and so he'll be heading up some of the product development, and that is one of the things he'll be looking at. Next question, Mike.
Let's see. We're into some miscellaneous stuff. Ron, I'm not an internet marketer. I'm that belly-to-belly guy. So splash pages as marketing material. Splash page, landing page, same thing, right?
It is, yeah, LCPs, and we've got 12 of them in the back office currently. We will be actually we're in the middle of changing all those over for iGrow. So once the new iGrow back office goes up, we will start to populate those back there. It takes a little bit of time to get that sales funnel changed over, which the beginning of the sales funnel is the landing page, the lead capture pages. But we'll be changing all those over to iGrow because iGrow becomes the new marketing arm for the Leafit social network, as well as some of the other products that we're bringing out to you guys. But yeah, we'll have the landing pages and things taken care of. One of the things that's going to be holding us up for that is going to be the videos, okay? Because we've got to get the voiceovers finished up and then over to the video guy, and it takes him, typically a couple of weeks to do that. So don't expect the sales funnel to be up the minute that the new back office is up. But we are working on it right now.
Beautiful.
I've got one here that from Tammy. She says, will iGrow University video issues be resolved? I'm not experiencing any issues on that. So the reason I bring this up, Tammy, is that this is one of those tickets that I said at the beginning, we may ask you to submit a support ticket. So here's what I want to do, guys. If you have something going on, okay, with your website, I'm talking website, not the app here, okay? If you have something going on with the website, what I want you to do is submit a support ticket and include the following things with that. Exactly what is your issue that you're having? What browser are you using? What operating system are you using? And what video or what page of the website are you on? And if you can include a URL with that, what it does is allows us to forward that over to our programmers, and they can troubleshoot it much, much quicker, because right now we don't want to be wasting any time or resources when we have so many projects that we're working on. So the more specific that you can be when you're having an issue, the better. And matter of fact, we have protocol as far as submitting issues with the app as well. And Lawrence, if you want to walk them through the app protocol real quick here, I will type up this answer and get it over to Tammy.
What was that question again? I was typing an answer.
Just tell everybody the protocol, because I just gave them the protocol for submitting if they have a website issue. If you want to give them the protocol for submitting on a app issue, walk them through going through the gears and exactly what they need.
I mean, you just basically go to your profile and just click on the settings icon, the gear icon, and click on Contact Us, and give it an option to send us a message from the app. And so anything that you would like to report about the app or any issues with the app, we ask that you report it there, because that goes to both the developers and it comes to us, and that way we're able to keep a pulse on when there's problems and what kind of problems there is. So far, I've noticed that everybody's figured it out, that I've noticed, or I've seen, because we do get a fair amount of suggestions every day, and a fair amount of reports every day. Obviously, The last few days has all been about social sharing. But yeah, absolutely, just go to your profile, click on the gear icon, and contact us.
Can I cover a question here? We've got Anna that, Anna, I'm sorry, your question, there might be a language barrier there. I know you're from the UK. So I've got half of it, and then I think I don't understand what you're saying, and then I pick up again, and I do understand what you're saying. But let me just kind of answer it this way. Our news feed, and this is my opinion, I think I'm on the same page with Lawrence and Ron. Our news feed is as good as we make it, and in my opinion, if we're going to be a social network, we need to be social, and I think now is the time to do that. I know down the road it'll be very, very easy because we'll have social networkers that come in and just do that with a natural feel for it. I think a lot of us right now are still looking at this as though, okay, this is a product promotion type news feed, and it's really not. I think if we all take the advice and just share your social life just like you do at Facebook or Twitter or any place else. Share an image of, and everybody hates my beach ball now because I've been talking about it so much, but share the picture of you and your kids having a blast on the beach with a giant beach ball. Okay, and talk about the beach ball or the beach chairs or the beach umbrella that you want to tag to it, or sunscreen or mosquito repellent or anything else you want to attach to that image, but make it social. I think our social newsfeed will have more sex appeal, or maybe just appeal, if we just all banded together and made it what it is. It's a social network. So when you're creating Leafs, try to stay away from the I'm just going to go grab a Bing image of a snowblower, okay? And if you are going to use Bing image, I'm not against Bing image. I think it's great, but try to stay away from just taking a commercialized image of a snowblower. Go get a picture of some guy's car that's just buried with 6 feet of snow on top of it, okay? And that's a natural. Man, do I feel sorry for this guy. I used to be in his shoes until I, if you want to get commercialized at that point, until I found my latest new toy, and then attach your snowblower to it. But I think if we all just took a little bit of a concerted effort and learned a little bit better about how to make a really effective looking news feed, if we're all doing the same thing, again, eventually down the road, I don't think we're going to have this issue, but right now, I think some of us are just going a little bit too commercialized. I've seen pictures of a bottle of aspirin. That's not really sexy for me. I've seen videos, and I don't mean to pick on anybody individual. We're kind of all in a learning curve here, but I've seen someone posting up pictures of movies, of video boxes. Again, not so really kind of cool. Go find. I mean, if you want to do that, that's great. If you want to attach movies into a news feed, but go find Sean Connery right in the middle of jumping off of the Empire State Building or something. He's flying through the air, and then tag one of those James Bond movies, to your image. But let's make it exciting. Let's make it social. Let's make it about us. And if you are going to use Bing images, let's use something with some life and some action in it. Am I on the right page there, Lawrence?
Yeah, let me talk on that one.
Okay.
So Mike said it best. The newsfeed is what we're going to make it. The product's going to be what the user's making. Given right now a majority of the user base that's on the app isn't probably your normal, social media users that use that type of product. It's more networkers kind of testing the app and playing with it, and it's pretty obvious to us that a lot of people don't understand how to post appealing content. And if you think about what makes people look at what you post, on other social networks, you'll probably notice that sometimes you get interactions with people, sometimes you don't. So you want to focus on the stuff that's going to get interaction. I bought a couple things already from the app just because I had to have it. It was something I couldn't believe existed, number one, and the price was great, number two, and so I had to have it. But it was a very appealing picture, right? The picture was appealing and drew me in, and then what was tagged appealed to me even more, right? So taking a picture of every movie in your closet, or every pair of shoes in your closet, those pictures aren't that appealing, right? If you think about seeing a newsfeed, just taking pictures of something that doesn't have any life to it, it'll get very boring. And there's nothing to be alarmed about. It's just an early network, and it doesn't have really, I would say, a healthy mixture of user base yet to mix up that content. And also version 1.0, it only has one newsfeed that allows users to be able to discover and find people. And so that's kind of clogged with everybody, where, you know, version 2.0 is going to be way more selective and segregated based on what people are posting, and that's when branches will be introduced. So, you know, in version 2.0, you'll be able to look at what you want to look at. If you want to look at shoes, then you'll be able to look at all the shoes everybody's posting. If you want, you know, yeah. So, but right now, you know, it's just about posting appealing content, posting stuff that people actually want to see, hear about, or, you know, interact with. And you know, if you go through the newsfeed, you know, yourself, just go through it and be like, oh, that's cool, and then go to that person's profile and see the other type of stuff they're posting, and kind of get ideas from the posters that are posting, because, you know, there may be half the posts that are kind of mundane, but the other half are exciting and cool. So, you know, go through the newsfeed and just figure out a way to make things more appealing, more exciting. You know, bring your life into it. Don't always be posting products. You want to, you know, kind of mix it up. You know, post a little bit about you, a little bit about this, a little bit about that, your interests, you know, whatever those are, you know, and kind of focus in on that, and kind of diversify the way you share things and what you share, and you'll see, you know, a lot more activity, comments, wish lists, following happen with you and your profile. I mean, there's people on there that I know are making sales already, because I've seen one person, not going to say any names, but I know I purchased something from them, and I know somebody else did, because I heard about it, because they thought something else they had was cool. So there's some people that are figuring out how to post cool stuff, and at the same time make you interested in looking at what they have, and drawing you into their profile to check out all their other leads, right? So just be sure to post stuff that you would think is appealing, you think looks good, and makes your eyes want to see more of it. That's the key.
Hey, Lawrence, maybe you could touch a little bit on the development of what a user is, what kind of experience they're going to go through, and maybe what kind of learning tools we'll have for them when they sign up at leafit.com. Because right now everything's geared into a back office or a webinar that's based on, you know, going to the webinars tab inside of .biz. What about the guy that's signing up at .com? You know, my mom, my dad, that really don't want to look at the .biz side. You know, they just want to download the app, and maybe they're looking for some tutorials.
Well, yeah, so I mean, leafit.com will have it'll be a social network. So basically, people will be able to sign up there, access a social network, download the app, or both. You know, there'll be a help area with, you know, in-app tutorials or on-site tutorials there. Maybe some videos at the beginning until we get some nice design done to get those stories in. But basically, you know, leafit.com, just think of it like, you know, Pinterest.com, Facebook, or any of the other social networks. It's just going to be a social network, and that's what leafit.com is going to be. And, you know, it'll, of course, be connected to the genealogy through the associates at iGrow, but however, it will still be its own, you know, just free social network.
Okay, Lawrence, you got a shout out here from Rika. She says, I love trees that have leaves and branches. I can see the ideas rolling around in Lawrence's head, and as he's speaking. Looking forward to all the new things to come. Man, if you could just if you hung out with a guy for a day, there's a lot of leaves and a lot of branches in that head rolling around, Rika. So all I can say is hang on to your hats. The guy's got a million ideas, and he's getting most of them down on paper, and we're seeing a lot of them just here in the beginning stages. And I just want to repeat one more time, guys. This is the starting line. This is version 1.0. Oh, maybe 1.0.1. But even as I was talking to Lawrence today, you know, it's funny. We launched version 1.0 on the 19th. I'm sorry, on September 17th. But at the same time we launched that, but before we had a chance to even breathe and see any of the little bugs that we had, we already submitted version 1.0.1. Okay, so even the bugs we got off the version 1.0, we haven't even had a chance to address yet. So, and as Lawrence explained again today, look, every single time we go through an update, just like anybody else, I mean, if anybody, and I know there's a few of you out there that have iDevices, remember Apple just did their big 8.0? We're talking to Apple, right? And Lawrence, I know you're an Apple guy now, and you've converted over to that, you know, over to the dark side. But what happened to Apple's 8.0?
Well, 8.0 it was fine. It's when they pushed out 8.0.1, which had a bug fix for 8.0. It actually crashed a ton of devices, and it was rather alarming, and it went viral, and everybody was talking about it. But that just gives you an idea of how easily bugs get into, or how easily mistakes get made when you're dealing with this type of technology that's this crazy and robust.
Well, and I guess that's the point I was making, Lawrence, is that's Apple, you know, the giant that they are. And you would think that they would have had 8.0 dialed in, 100% glitch-free, bug-free, ready to go. And what's the reality of it? You know, there's bugs in it. When you put it out to the masses, you know, little things break, or little lines of code, you know, weren't programmed just right for the masses, and it crashes. So every single time we go through an update, you guys, we're going to see, you know, some of the bugs, some of the glitches. We'll get them fixed, every single one of them. This is version 1.0, and man, again, if you could just crawl inside of Lawrence's head, it'd make you dizzy. But we couldn't be in a more exciting place, you guys. We're at ground zero on a brand new social network that's going to take the world by storm. That's my 2 cents.
I've got one here actually from David, but I want to go back and address something that was pretty important actually. Um, it was the individual who was saying, you know, that they could see the leaves and the branches floating around in Lawrence's head. And the reason I want to touch on that there for just a moment was I get to spend a lot of time with Lawrence, guys, and you know, I've dealt with a lot of CEOs over the last 19 plus years, and as I've been building companies, and you know, it's very unique when you run into somebody, and I have to tell Lawrence all the time, and don't nobody on the webinar take this offensively, but I tell Lawrence all the time, you've got to dumb it down for the rest of us, and because it's so funny, guys, that you know we'll be like Mike said, you know, we're still trying to catch up on some of the other things, and we'll be sitting there and you know, middle of the night watching a movie and brainstorming and stuff, and all of a sudden, whoa, wait, I got something, and he'll pause the movie and he comes out with something that is just amazing. And then I have to remind him that, hey, I'm still trying to catch up on the last 4 things you gave me. So, but it's awesome to have a CEO, guys, that is cutting edge. His brain works differently than a lot of people, and you know, a lot of things that he knows is just second nature to him. And you know, and then over here at operations and marketing, I have to take those ideas and break them down into the layman's and put it in something that the masses, you know, can use. And but I love the fact that, you know, our CEO is just years ahead of where we're currently at right now. And but understanding the fact that he knows it's one step at a time. So anyways, my hat's off to you, Lawrence. I think that, you know, you and I have talked about this before, and I love, you know, being around you and having you at a level that I've never experienced before. So it's pretty awesome. I mean, this has to be what it was like working with Mark Zuckerberg, or maybe even better, you know. But the technology, the knowledge in his head, guys, is beyond anybody I've ever personally experienced. So you've done a great job to this point, and I'm right here with you, brother. And I cannot wait to see where this heads in the next 12 months. And every time you come out with a new idea, I go, oh God, that'd be awesome if we could implement that. And then we realize that, you know, there's so much to implement that it just all takes time, guys. Um, let's see. Let me take one here real quick from David Morris. He says the $100 free advertising for associates. One, what can we advertise? And two, if the $100 is not used in that month, does it carry through to the next month? Now, David, what we did with that was, first off, we tested it. You know, putting the $100 credit back there for you guys. If I think everybody's probably got that. It's in the system programming, but those credits, David, are going to sit there and roll over until we launch the advertising platform, which, you know, we're waiting for the social network to get bigger, and then we'll start to implement the advertising platform. And Lawrence, you can talk about how long, you know, companies like Twitter and Facebook and other social networks, you know, waited before they ever implemented their you know, their marketing, but or selling marketing on their site. But yeah, those credits will roll over when we get ready to kick off the advertising platform. We'll come back and address those credits, but right now they're just kind of stagnant.
Yeah, sure, I can address that. And way to get out of the you know, talking about me and then moving on to something else.
I said all good things there, brother.
Thanks, Ron. I really appreciated that. That was nice. Well, you know, basically the advertising platform and the way that the social networks work today is that, you know, you want to be very careful about how you monetize your users, because if it's taken wrong or offensive or, you know, anything, it can cause, you know, huge issues with the network, and actually you can lose an entire company over not having the proper monetization strategy. That is key. That's why our e-commerce monetization, where you can monetize your own content, is huge. Is because it's your choice to monetize content. We're not doing it on top of you. So when we roll into the advertising platform and bringing that into the social network, we just have to be very sensitive about it, and it has to be about the users being able to monetize it themselves rather than us monetizing on top of the users. Just from seeing the headlines and other little social networks that are poking their heads up and getting 40, 50,000 users a day, one thing I notice is people are trying to get away from the monetization on top of a user base. So I know we're going in the right direction, but as Ron said, we just have to take our time and make sure that when we do introduce the advertising platform, that it's done right and it's done with the users in mind first, and then those credits that everybody has, you'll be able to use those advertising credits to advertise whatever it is we offer through our platform.
Excellent. Thank you, Lawrence. I was reading one here from Diane. Okay, looks like
I think we're doing pretty good on questions.
Oh yeah.
I would say, to paraphrase her question, Ron, it is, what about tutorial videos in the back office, or better yet, putting them on YouTube, how do you say, commercialized with somebody else's username on it, for learning tools, for training tools?
We're not at a point right now where we're able to replicate those videos for you guys, and I think that's what she's referring to there.
Right, right.
But Diane, yes, I answered another one. I thought I sent it out publicly. So you guys make sure that when you're putting your questions in your chat box, you're also looking to see if there's any answers that have been pushed out to the public rather than just private answers. But the as far as the tutorial, in all the companies I set up, I always go in and do like little short 3 to 5 minute tutorial videos on each feature. And that will be coming. Our main focus has been in getting the websites done and getting the transition from Leafit over to iGrow, getting the new back office, just a ton of different things that we've been working on there. But once that's completed, and the reason we didn't do the training videos yet is once we complete all of that, then we just have to turn around and do them all again. And so once the new back office is there and the features are in place, then I can go through and start to do some of the different training tutorial videos that you're referring to and put them in your back office. And then, you can always utilize those, in the manner in which you need. I'm going to take that opportunity also and say, good, Diane, I'm glad that made sense for you. But I also want to say that, guys, make sure that if you're putting marketing together, that you're submitting a support ticket and allowing support to take a look at your marketing. We're going to be coming out with a compliance department soon. And whatever you guys are saying and doing out there in the field does bring liability back onto the company. And I'll give a specific example, and I'm not digging on anybody. They didn't know. But when you go to create your different type of marketing, if you're using some kind of a catchphrase or something, make sure that you check the trademark on that, both national and international. We recently had a team that was using a phrase of snap tag. And the reason I bring that up is I want everybody to know about it. Snap tag actually belongs to another company, not snap it, tag it, share it, but snap tag belongs to another company. And we actually got a letter from a law firm about that. And it was directed to us over here, to Leafit. Okay. And the reason being is that the things that you guys are saying and doing in the field, if you don't realize it, if you haven't been involved in networking before, the things that you say and do bring liability back onto the company. And I'm not going to blame the field for the different companies that get shut down, but I will say that, I don't know if you guys know Jeff Babner. I know him personally, and I was having a conversation with him in Vegas, and he was explaining to me that a lot of the companies that get shut down, a lot of times it's due to the things that are going on in the field. It doesn't even have to be an error or a miscalculation that corporate itself made. It could be the things that are being said and done in the field. So as we bring on the compliance department, I ask that you guys, be respectful of that. In the meantime, any marketing that you want to be putting out there, just submit a support ticket and maybe include your URL so we could take a real quick glance at that. We do have a logo coming out. Matter of fact, I think we have one right now, an independent associate logo in the back office under resources. And we just finished the development of the iGrow independent associate logo today that'll be going into the new back office that will be there when it goes live. So make sure that you guys are using your independent associate logos and make it very clear that you're not corporate. And then, like I say, make sure that you're checking some of the different trademarks. Just do a real quick trademark search and make sure that you're not violating anybody's trademark out there. Let's see. You know what? We'll take a couple more minutes. If you guys have any questions at all, now is the time to put it in your chat box and push it forward. I got 4 or 5 guys on here right now that can answer a handful of questions in the next 2 minutes. So I would say go. If you got a question, put it in the box right now, and let's finish this call up in the next 2 minutes.
All right, I got one here, Ron. It's from Arthur. He asked what some good conversation starters are that will get people interested in Leafit or iGrow. So it really depends on, Arthur, what direction you want to go with it. What are you trying to accomplish? If you're trying to get somebody to simply use the social network and then maybe talk to them later about the opportunity, then you're just going to say something to them like, did you hear there's a social network where you can actually make money from posting pictures, and people can actually buy products from your pictures, and just something like that. Like, did you know? Because asking questions is about the most powerful way to sell anything, from what I've ever experienced. Because when you ask a question, you get a response, and when you ask a question that's going to get a yes, then you have their foot in the door, or you have your foot in the door, I should say. So you want to ask questions that are going to get yeses. Like, would you like to make money? Doing what you do with social media. Yes. Well, did you know there's a social network, and this is what it does. Would you like to sign up for free? At least check it out and show it to you. Sure. So you want to ask best questions first, and it really depends on how you know the person. Now, if you're talking about the opportunity, then what you want to do is you want to ask them, are you looking for anything else to do, or are you looking for some extra income? Different conversation starters like that would probably get, and I can let Mike talk more about that, but specifically product, you kind of want to focus on what the product can do. I wouldn't, say, hey, there's a social network where you can make money, and, if you sign other people up and, you pay $49 and you make money and they make money, because then if you don't know them that well, it could sound completely wrong when the pitch comes out that way. So I wouldn't recommend trying to roll it all up together. I'd either focus on one or focus on the other.
Absolutely. Let me throw just a little bit in there too, Lawrence, if you were finished there.
Yeah.
Okay. I like to, kind of like asking questions like Lawrence is talking about here. Yes conditioned people. Okay. And if you guys are looking for yes conditioning type questions, you can go to the PowerPoint that's in your back office right now. And what is it, like the 3rd slide, 4th slide, something like that I listed several different questions there that are just no-brainer type questions. It's all about, social networks, and, if you would have gotten just, even $1 a month off of each one of the people that you referred to the social network you're currently with, would that have changed your life? Questions like that. Well, of course it would, and then I've been involved in social events over in Vegas this year even, and I had the opportunity to meet with some SEO authorities, individuals that have been invited to Facebook from Mark Zuckerberg directly, and also invited over to Amazon to work on their platform. And I approached the individual, and he didn't know me. And the first thing I said, I told him, I said, Ezra, we need to talk. And he said, well, what do you got? I said, well, I've got a social network that I want to go over with you and look at optimizing it. And he said, well, what makes you any different than anybody else? All right. So he started to posture. And the first thing I said to him, and this is very quick, very easy to do, is we're the first social network that actually shares the revenue back with our users when the content they post generates a sale. And guys, I kid you not, he took a double take and he said, well, what did you just say? And I said, have you heard of that before? He goes, yeah, I've heard of the idea, but nobody's done it. I go, well, actually, let me show you the app. He goes, you got the app done? And I no longer got the app open. He took my phone from me and started going through the app. He's like, this is awesome. This is you guys got this done. He's smiling ear to ear. This is literally within a minute of him trying to posture me. He's smiling ear to ear and says, "We got to talk. This is awesome." And I had the same response from a few other individuals that one was behind Cash for Gold and things like that. That literally in one night had over 300 views to his site. And I mean, guys, I guess my point is, it doesn't matter at what level. It's finding those terms, those phrases, those words and things, those questions that spark the interest. That's all you're really looking for. Is that thing that opens the door and allows you the permission to continue forward. And you've got to do that within, the first few seconds of your conversation. And I think one of the best things that's worked for me is that exact line I gave you is, I'm involved with the first social network that shares the revenue back with its users when the content they post generates a sale. And that's a question that's going to take, people are going to give you a double take, guys. So Mike, I want to pass that one over to you. Got anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, let me just get off of mute here. No, I'm just kind of cleaning up the last few questions that are coming in, Ron, so we're good on this end.
Okay. Did you want to add anything to maybe elevator pitch or anything like that? Ways to break into a conversation to grab attention. You're one of the best belly-to-belly guys I've ever met, so I just want to give you an opportunity there.
Man, there's dozens, but I do two different things. Instead of trying to give you, canned spiels to write down, I think one of the most powerful things to do in belly to belly or even over the phone is what if, if I could do this or if you could do that. You just ask the if questions. If I had a social network that paid you for posting pictures, I know, all kinds of them with that flavor. But I think what you really want to direct people towards first is just identifying who it is you're talking to. And sometimes that's a question not even talking about, not even talking about Leafit yet. You really want to identify who you are talking to. Are they into social networking? Because if you're trying to throw a sales pitch on somebody that's not even into Facebook or any other social network, you're going to have a tough time. It's going to be a tough sale. So first identify who you're talking to, know just a little bit about it. And then, it's the what ifs. Well, ask the questions. Do you post pictures on Facebook? Are you a poster or are you a browser? And regardless of what their answer is, well, what if I could show you how to actually make money from posting pictures inside of a social environment? Now, you've got to shut up. This is the hardest part for me. For those of you that know me, this is the hardest part for me, is you got to shut up. I hope that's not offensive to too many people. But you've got to wait for that response. Let that question resonate. Let it rattle around in their brain a little bit. And they're going to come back and they're going to ask you, and now you're in a conversation. And you've got to keep yourself out of just spewing everything to them. And just keep asking questions. Telling ain't selling, asking is. That's the oldest, sales saying in the world. But you just got to keep asking questions. And they're gonna try and ask you a question, turn it back around and ask them another question. Answer their question real briefly, but throw them another question. And as soon as they start showing signs that they're interested, man, if they've got an iPhone on them, or even if they don't, pull yours out or pull out your Android or whatever you've got, get them to leafit.biz and get them signed up. Right there on the spot. That's the glory of what we have right now, is the ability to move on a positive buying sign right out of the gate. Somebody says, "You got to be kidding me." Say, "Hey, let me show you how it works," and you just take them to your website and start going through the process. Whether you're going to take them to .com or .biz doesn't matter. You're going to go through the process right now. Strike while the iron's hot. So, Ron, bottom line, just get into the ifs. What if I could show you a way? What if I told you?
Could I jump in there just real quick?
Sure.
On that. Okay, so the way that Facebook or Pinterest or Instagram or any of the existing social media went viral was because people enjoyed their experience with that product so much that they had to share that experience. So what you want to do is a more natural way of sharing. You don't want to act like you're trying to do some like you're trying to sell some product. You just want to share a great experience with them. Because that's why people buy the shoes that they buy is their girlfriend say, "Oh my gosh, these are the most comfortable shoes ever." So their friend bought those shoes too. "Oh, this was the best sandwich in the whole town at this restaurant." So that's why other people went to that restaurant, because of their experience. So instead of trying to sell something, just show the passion for your experience with something. Like, "Man, have you heard of this? Wow, it's crazy. Like, I can make money posting pictures like I already do on all the other, just share the experiences that you love, and people will do it. Because if it sounds natural and it sounds like you're referring something based on an experience, people are going to check it out. If it sounds like you're trying to sell them something, they're probably not going to check it out unless you do a really good job of presenting it, or, you know, obviously giving them the material that allows them to sell. Another thing I think, and then I'll let it go back to you guys, is, you know, we have the sites, the websites, the different links for you, the sales funnels, you know, the videos. We have the information to help you sell. So if you don't feel comfortable explaining something and that's just not who you are, then don't explain anything. Just send them information to check out. But those of you who do want to say something, share the experiences that you love, and that's what's going to get people interested.
Absolutely. And you know what? I always tell everybody on the calls is you don't need to be the expert. Matter of fact, even if you know the answer, your response should be, you know what? I'm new to this. I don't have, you know, I don't know everything there is to know about it. Let me get somebody on the phone who does. And then you're going to call somebody in your upline. And the reason being is that when somebody new comes into a business, they want to know that they can do it too. And if you know everything, I mean, you're just snap, 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 you got it right off the top, you may overwhelm the other individual. Okay. I mean, I'll go back several years back. I spent some time working the Quick Star Amway business. And in 10 months, I did 510 presentations. And if you got your calculator out, yeah, that's a lot of presentations. It's several a day. And but what happened was I became an expert on everything there was to know about that company, and I started to overwhelm people. I saw my numbers, my sponsorship numbers drop dramatically the more knowledgeable that I got. And what I realized back then, and as soon as I changed it, I've gone on to build teams in excess of, well, I've got almost 300,000 people on my list. It was once I realized what I was doing. I was overwhelming people with the knowledge that I had on the business. Okay, so by saying I'm not the expert, again, even if I know it, I'm going to say I'm not the expert, but let me get somebody on the phone who is, and then I'm going to call somebody in my upline. I'm going to bring them on. I'm going to edify them, saying what a great person they are. They're building their business. It's exceptional. I'd love to be like so and so one day. And hey, I've got this person on the phone. They've got this question. Would you take the time and just go ahead and answer that for them? At that point, the person I brought on the phone is going to edify me back. Okay, talking about what a great, up and coming leader I am, and how excited they are to have me on their team. And then my job, as Mike said, is to sit back and just shut up. Don't say anything, because if I just told the prospect on the phone that I'm not the expert, that Mike's the expert, but then I interrupt Mike to explain something that he may have explained incorrectly, I just tore down all credibility. I took that third party credibility away, and may have just overwhelmed the person again. Oh my gosh, I can't count on anybody in this. I don't know if I can do this, and they start to panic, and they think, I got my day job, I got my kids, I got, and they come up with all these reasons why they can't do the business. So you don't want to be the expert when you're talking to your own prospects. However, you do need to learn the business. You need to know it inside and out, both the front end, the back end, all your different training materials, your marketing materials, things like that. Get to know those. You don't have to know them overnight, but get to know them. Why? Because as you start to bring people in, which is going to happen very quickly in your business here, but as you start to bring people in, you need to be that expert for them. And for a while, it's okay. They can go to your upline or to the next person above that even. But your goal should be to be that support for everybody that you bring in. Bring in 3 to 5 people, work with them, duplicate through them, teach them the systems, and then let them go do the same thing. So you'll be the expert for someone someday as you bring on. Now, Elizabeth has a string of questions here, and I really think it's kind of a conversation. And I'm gonna answer this out loud for anybody who's confused. But my first response would be, Elizabeth, you probably need to go to your replicated site. If you're not signed up yet, go to the person who invited you here. Go to their replicated site, click on webinars, and go watch a webinar. I think that's really going to explain a lot of this for you. But the questions that I'm getting here is are things like, are affiliates free to join? Affiliates are absolutely free. That's the side of the business, guys, that they don't pay anything. I mean, that's the unique side that Lawrence came up with at the very beginning here is I want to have a side for people that can come in and make money that don't have to pay anything monthly. All right, and so what can a free affiliate do? Well, they can create leafs, tag products to it and put it up there. And when somebody buys their product that they've tagged, or buy anything through that individual retailer. So let's say that I tag a kayak and you don't like the kayak I tagged, but you like maybe you like a fishing pole that you found through that same retailer. If you buy that I still get a commission because I was your portal to get you through to that retailer. Affiliates, if they refer in other affiliates and someone decides to upgrade to become an associate with iGrow, so they want to take advantage of the other streams of income there. Even if you stayed as an affiliate, you'll still get that $17 unilevel commission because you referred them in. Okay, so you can make commissions on anybody that you personally refer that becomes an associate, and you can make money on your own personal product sales. Okay, your e-commerce commissions. You could send your affiliates. Now, guys, this is why I brought this up. I really want you to understand the difference between sorting and recruiting. Okay, and we don't want anybody out there just recruiting. We're not a recruiting company. We're a company that builds relationships and is building a network here. iGrow itself is a social media marketing company to build, the Leafit social network. In pretty much any business out there because of the education and tools that we provide. But my point in saying this, guys, is associates. It's you really what you want to do is you want to look at your list, whether that list is a list of 50 names or 500 names, it doesn't matter. Look at the list and go through it and go, you know what, if I talk to this person right here about network marketing, they'll probably get turned off and they won't even join my social network. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put that person in a list that you're going to send to your leafit.com website. Okay. And then you come to the next name and you go, you know what, this person here has done network marketing with me before. They're a little turned off, but you know what, they'd probably be interested in this. Well, you're going to put that one over here in your iGrow pile. And you're just going to sort your list like that. If somebody's going to get offended by you talking to them about a network marketing company, don't talk to them about it right now. Okay. This is a marathon, not a sprint, guys. So you'll put them off into your leafit.com pile and you'll email them separately. And this is what you should be doing is you should be emailing them out, tell them just a real quick little bit about your company. Hey, I found the first social network that shares the revenue back with the users when the content they post generates a sale. I think it's incredible. I want you to take a look at it. Would you go to leafit.com/ and whatever your username is? Okay. They can go in and look at that and sign up as a free affiliate over there. They've never been exposed at that point to the network marketing side. But once they get used to the social network and they see that you're making some money, feel free. They're your contact. Feel free to just say, hey, by the way, you know how you're making e-commerce commissions on your own post? Would you be interested? This would be the first question I would ask. I wouldn't go straight into, hey, it's a network marketing company. I wouldn't do that, okay? And the way I would do it is I would just simply say, hey, I see that you're making some e-commerce commissions. Did you know there's a way that I can show you to actually make e-commerce commissions on 9 generations? Is that something you might be interested in? Okay, and because remember, you only signed them up for the social network at this point. If they say, yeah, that's interesting, how do you do that? Well, you know what? Why don't you go through this website right here? Give them your sales funnel. Go through this website, check it out. If you're interested, you know what? We can chat some more. I'll put you on the phone with somebody who can answer all your questions. If you're not interested, no big deal. Just keep using the network like you are. Just wanted you to know there's another option there. All right. And then the associates, and I see some questions here about the associates. How does that work? The associates, that's somebody who's decided, hey, I want to do the business side of this. I want to take advantage of this. I want to, make 9 generations of e-commerce. I want to get the, 9 generations of unilevel, the 9 levels of matrix. And I even want to tap into these check matches. All right. Those individuals are associates and they make the multiple levels of compensation. So again, if you have questions like that, go through one of the webinars, but I did want to take just a moment and give you how I would market this business and separate that list and send the affiliates to one side and send the, or send the users to one side to become free affiliates and send the business people over to your igrownet.com website. So, and that'll be coming out to you guys real soon here. Mike or Lawrence, do you guys have any last minute questions that you want to answer? Otherwise, we can go ahead and wrap this up.
Hey, Ron, I'm good. I think we're good. I think all the questions are answered. We've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes. I think it's been great. And until next time.
Absolutely, Mike. How about you? You got anything that you want to answer? Or are you good too? I think you might be on mute there, bud. Okay, well, I want to thank all my helpers for coming out here. Martin, Brad, Will, Mike, Lawrence, you guys, thank you so much for coming out and helping me get these questions answered here tonight. And guys, let me just get some feedback. We want to make sure that this call continues to be a popular call. If you'd put in your chat box real quick here, did you appreciate this call? Did you get something out of it? Just put yes in there if you did. Put no, and maybe a suggestion if you didn't. We do go through these. Customer service pulls all of these questions and answers, and we're building a database of frequently asked questions. So great. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, yeah. Perfect. All right. We'd just like to keep everything in check, make sure that we're bringing you guys what it is that you're looking for. So thank you so much for spending this time with us on the live Q&A. Have a great night, and we'll see you on the next call.